Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, and whatever I feel like every Friday at 9:15. Tonight we're going to be playing Chex Quest. Chex Quest is a cult classic, a game that was delivered in boxes of Chex back in 1996. So this was the era when games were just becoming the thing that they were. So I think Doom was originally released in 1993. This is a Doom reskin based off of the Doom 2 engine and everything else like that. I will be just right back. Sorry about that. Welcome to the stream, James. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. We're gonna jump right into this game and start playing. So as I said, this is a Doom clone. As is the rule around here, there is no playing on any mode other than easy mode. So we'll be playing on easy mode here tonight because that's what we do whenever we're playing games. I guess, does WASD not work in Doom? I guess maybe it doesn't, which is kind of weird. Or at least it does not in this current setup, so. Hi. Good night. Alright. I'm just gonna wait for like 10 minutes and see if anything else happens, and yeah, so happy Monday. I hope you all had a good day, and yeah. Hello Brad, hello Leif, hello Mathros, hello Yugi, hello James. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Yeah, so I actually had a couple of people at work today who mentioned to me that they were very excited about Chex Quest. They had played Chex Quest when they were kids because they were it was the first version of Doom that had come out that wasn't bloody, so their parents had prevented them from participating in playing bloody games, and so Chex Quest was easy. That you know, there's no blood, you don't actually kill the enemies, you teleport them too far away. And so if you were in 1996 about 10 years old, this might be the game that you played. Now for me, of course, I actually had something similar, but for me it was not Chex Quest, but instead the shareware version of Wolf 3D. So there was a version of the shareware version of Wolf 3D where all of the enemies were replaced by colorful balls. And so like when you shot them, they didn't die. They all behaved exactly the same way. But the reason that I never played the later episodes of Doom after the first episode of Doom is because the shareware version was the only version that the person had written the patch for. So all of the other stuff, like I could never play beyond episode 1 because I wasn't allowed to have the full version of Wolf 3D because it had blood in it. So so this was apparently the hot thing in 1996 for some people. It never really came across my plate. I'd never heard about it until recently, when I was watching a video from Ahoy. Ahoy does documentaries, and in particular did a documentary on Doom. His documentary on Doom mentioned this. So his documentary on Doom mentioned this game as well as a bunch of other Doom clones, and I kind of was watching it and I was like, that's weird. And Brad was like, you should play this game, and I thought he was kidding, but then I mentioned it and like 2 or 3 different people have been like, Chex Quest is the coolest game ever. So yeah, no, work today was fine. We moved, so my new office space is is fine. You know, I've always said about office spaces that you don't really know about the bad parts of the office space the first day. You only know about the good parts the first day. So we'll have to see how it works over the next few days as I get used to the office. But yeah. So anyway. Yeah, well, Jess, my parents were against guns, so it's not about the Nazis, it's about shooting in general. They didn't believe that that was okay in the same way that I couldn't play GTA, and we didn't let our girls play GTA when they were, you know, younger either. I know you yelled at me one time because I played GTA Vice City while the girls were in the room, even though they weren't playing. So, you know, we've all gone through similar things. When you're parenting, it's one of the things you have to decide how you're going to implement, what you're going to do, and everything else like that. Yeah, all right. All right, what do we got here? We got some weird green dudes. So there is a Chex Quest and a Chex Quest 2 that were both kind of officially released. There's also a Chex Quest 3 that was a fan service game that was later released. So I think that this is a game that actually has a bunch of, you know, love and support from a community of people. As I said, Mathros was into it. A coworker of mine named John was into it. So, Alright, so I feel like I'm probably wasting zilches. I'm just realizing that the sound that I'm hearing, that's the hoot, 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 is not actually the enemy being hit, but just my character shouting. So I've got to be a little bit more cautious with that, because I think I will run out of bullets. Yeah, so these guys just take 2 hits with this gun, so I need to be more cautious in my shots so I'm not wasting so many Zorches. This feels like a trap. And it was. Alright, so I got quite a few Zorches now. So I need the red key. Don't have the red key. Went through both those doors. Did not go through. I don't have the blue key or the red key. There we go. Oh, we've already been in here. Go this way. No, went that way too. So one thing to know about Doom, of course, is that there's always the map tab, or I think M? Does M also do the map? Tab does the map. Anyway. No, the plural of Zorch is Zorches, clearly. I don't think, I mean, does that really make sense that the plural of Zorch is Zorch? What words have a plural that is that word? Like, I don't know. Porch is porches. Why would Zorch not be Zorches? Alright, this feels like a relevant door that I haven't gone through. Okay. So there's my blue key. Presumably, the red key will be on the other side of the blue door. Alright, these things. Mini Zorch recharge. Get up some slime repellent, which is another word for armor. Still got 100% health. I am, by the way, as you see in the bottom center there, a piece of Chex cereal. So that's good. Anyway, happy to have everybody here tonight. I hope your Monday has been treating you well. As I said, my Monday was decent, but I didn't really do much today because we moved our desks, and so for me it was mostly about kind of unpacking and getting settled. I'm on a new floor. The new floor has a lot more visibility of the city at the moment, which is cool. Okay, I've got the red key now, so I can go to the red doors. If you were a red door, where would you be? I vaguely remember it being there, in the entryway. Boom, boom, boom. Oh god. So one of the things that I think that was interesting about Doom, of course, is that I think it was the first game that really had this kind of very deep modding community. The WAD files and distribution of custom maps that were created by people was very much specific to Doom at the time, I believe. Hello, Orchaos. Hello, Unreal. You ready for Friday already? Do I still have secret passages? Yes. It looks like I found 50% of the secret passages in this game. I, of course, did not come anywhere near the par time, but... So my understanding is that Chex Quest 1 only has 5 levels, so we may be, you know, we'll see how it goes. I do know that in Doom, of course, there can be a lot of varying difficulty in how difficult a level is. I have spent a lot of time on a small number of levels in Doom. I think one time we spent an hour working on just one level, and although I'm certain that there are Chex Quest maps out there, we'll hold off cheating for at least a little while. We do have, yeah. What? I think it's making like very eating noises at me, and I don't like it. Okay, I got super Chexer armor. My life is full. Large Zorcher pack. I need another weapon, man. Turns out I backed right into a bad guy. The answers are, you shouldn't do that because it's not appropriate. 47 and, I have to think about that last one. I would say probably your mother. That's the answers I'm gonna go with. You shouldn't do that. It's inappropriate. 47 and your mother. So whichever your questions are in that order, those are the answers that there are. Hello, King Salad Hands. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm pretty sure PMing me in Discord is a thing that people can do. I don't believe that I have turned that off. I probably should, but I have not. Oh, what's this? It's like a rocket pack. The Zorch pack. Unfortunately, I have no additional weapons, so I don't know what to do with it, but... Ah! So when we first got a computer in my house, one of the things that happened is, so it booted automatically into Windows 3.1. It was a thing that my dad set up, right? So at the time, usually you would type win to start Windows, and he set up a batch script. So when the computer booted, it would go immediately into Windows, and he thought that was going to be enough to keep us from playing the kind of bad DOS games that were installed on the machine. So he had Wolf installed so he could play it, but we weren't supposed to play it. Of course, my uncle, being the, you know, uncle he is, immediately... Oh, nice. I got another gun, but I only have 6 bullets. So that's not good. Not bad, Stingray. Max, I don't really, like... The reality is that I probably have no help for you. But yeah, so my uncle immediately, as soon as we got the computer, taught us how to get out of Windows and run Wolf 3D. So then my dad had to uninstall Wolf 3D until he could find the shareware hack I talked about earlier, so that it didn't have any blood in it. I did play a lot of Epic Pinball on that computer. This is also the computer that, like, I would quit Windows and I would just, like, go through... I would go through, like, every piece of software on the computer and I would run it, and then I would, like, get out of it. Except until I opened VI, which my dad had a set of, like, Unix tools. Basically, probably what is the precursor to Cygwin. So he had a set of Unix tools installed on the machine, in some directory that was appropriately named, and I was just going through and opening every program on the computer by searching every directory and looking for anything that said .exe and running it. And I got myself stuck in VI, and at the time, I still lived in a world where I thought that you had to, well, where you were supposed to, you know, shut down all programs before turning off the computer, etc. And I was like, oh no, like I can't get out of this program because you can't exit VI by pressing Control-C like I could for every other program on the computer. And so I was like totally freaked out. I you know, couldn't get out of VI, couldn't figure out how to exit it. And so I like, you know, just turned off the computer and I wrote a note and I told my dad when he got home, I said, I'm really sorry. I had to turn off the computer while a program was running. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I had to because I couldn't figure out how to exit this program. And so my dad, one, said, don't worry about it. Two, you know, opened VI and sat me down and taught me how to quit. It said, you know, you can always type :Q exclamation mark. And that was the day I learned how to quit VI. I was probably 11 years old. And to this day, I still can't figure out how to quit Emacs, which is why I use VI instead of Emacs. So, have a good night, Max. So I think Deltree was not an executable. So I didn't have that problem. Deltree would have been a command that was built into DOS, and I never had that particular problem. It could have been a problem, but I mean, I don't want to waste my bullets, Brad. I know that this is one of those like stupid, you know, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul type of things, but I feel like if I use it against them, I won't be able to use it when I need it. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make any sense. Pretty much exactly the same, Soy Bomb. Absolutely no difference. Alright, I'm confused. I didn't get another key. I feel like there must be a trigger in here somewhere. Like, there's a door behind here. I think Soy Bomb was being a little bit silly. At least I would have been if I was talking, if I said the same thing. I am a serial killer, it's true. Mikey L the Gamer and Soy Bomb making the same joke. Alright, so that room was not super useful for me. Is there anything else in here? Oh. Okay. No, that's where I went. Oh, no it's not. I am super serial. Oh god. So somewhere in here is probably a key. It's definitely not a plasma gun. No, a plasma gun would kill things or chaos, and this gun does not kill things. It merely teleports them to a different place. So we know it's not a plasma gun. That would be silly. That's fine, King Salad Hands. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Alright. Does this put me back to a different place again? I'm confused by this. These teleporters don't feel like they have a one-to-one mapping. Alright, what do we got here? So what I need is another goddamn key, which maybe my general idea that it's behind another door is just wrong. And I should go explore the rest of the world. So let's see what we can do there. Anyway, so this is definitely a this is pretty straightforward. You know, Doom modification, map modification. Map modifications were pretty common back in the day. It was the first game that I think really made the distribution and the whole scene around modding into a major part of its ethos and community and all these other things. It made the distribution of these things really easy. There was a lot of community, and I think part of it is, of course, that it was the era when the internet was kind of growing up. So why can't I open this door? There's another switch somewhere. Okay, so that's red. Can't go in there. So, you know, distributing mods without access to the internet is obviously a much more difficult thing, and Doom just happened to be in the right place at the right time for that, so. Chex refrigerated storage. Is that not where you store your Chex? I mean, seems like a good place to me. I was never on a BBS, actually. So I was, you know, my parents did not want... So my dad worked at AT&T, and when I was a very young child, we actually had a terminal at home. So he had a, you know, old school green screen dial into the mainframe terminal. And when we moved, he basically said, no more, we're not going to do that because I don't want to be bringing work home. So when I was about 4.5, we moved, and we, you know, he said, nope, that's it. That's not, I'm not going to have a computer at home. And so we didn't get another home computer, until I was 10. It would have been 94. Christmas of 93, so I would have been 9, just turning 10 a couple months later. And so a lot of the experiences that some of my friends had were like, there was early, like Prodigy and other things like that, were ones that I never really had, just because of the timing and us not having a home computer. So yeah, I got on the internet, and then even once we had a computer, we didn't have the access to the internet for another 2 years. So it wasn't until about the time of this game, like 96, that I would have had access to the internet at home. Oh, there's a thing. Aha! That was the trick. And I bet there's another panel on this pillar as well. Yep. No? Do I have to go really fast? Oh, that's still open. You think I'm not going to beat the part-time? Alright, so let's... What we'll do, we'll save game. This is level 2. IDDQD. ID no clip. ID KFA. That doesn't seem to do anything, so. Is it ID clip or ID no clip? I don't remember exactly. The storeroom behind the yellow door. Yugi, as usual, knowing exactly how to help me. Waits for just the right moment. And, yeah. Perfect. I don't know what I would do without him. So, behind the yellow door... Oh. No. Oh, thanks, Stingray. Sorry. Let's, fix that so we don't have that problem again. What is this DOS box called? Where's my DOSBox source? There it is. Why is capture cursor the default? It's like a shitty default. Okay, so this does not appear to have anything. There's definitely something behind here that I don't know how to get to. Yeah, so as far as I can tell, basically, when I go through the yellow door, it leads me to a teleporter, which then when I take that teleporter back, it leads me to a different area, which also has a teleporter, and takes me to a very similar looking space. Only this one doesn't have any... Aha! This entire wall is an elevator. That was the trick. Good call. I mean, we'll figure out if it's gonna do... Oh! So that's something to keep in mind, is that anytime it says power lift, there's probably actually an elevator nearby that I'm ignoring. Alright, cool. Good job. I mean, this house is already full of crackers. Might as well call it White Jack, as they say in Ocean's 11. Ah! Phasing Zorcher Pack. I know what you were talking about. I'm just being silly. Silly dilly, silly dilly. Alright, what do I got? We got some food that I can't do anything with. Got a bunch of pillars and boxes that I've cleared out behind. I think, well, I'll double check behind this box. Make sure there's nothing here. There is not. Alright, what else do we got? The door here. So there are like various Chex related labeling and branding things. So you've got like it's Chex everywhere, right? Like Chex refrigerated storage, Chex everything else like that. I don't think that there is any reason why it's Chex Quest. I mean, so the game itself came in cereal boxes, so that's how the game was distributed. As it was included in a box of cereal. Nope, I do not shoot wheat squares at the enemies. I do think I should, but I do not. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? Hello, Cloud Wolkage. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I don't know how... There's not, like, enough vowels in that sentence. My Kristen! It's good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Mr. JW. JW. Alright. There's a whole wall here. Did I miss something in the other? I'm gonna try this again. Hold on. That was one Foxy Ray. Koodle! Good to see you. Good to see you. Alright. So if I go over here, open this, sends me over here. Okay, there's an entire wall that's an elevator. Yeah, so this is the trick, right? I saw these things and I was like, nothing is an elevator here, but of course, this entire wall is an elevator. So yeah, it's good to see you, Raiders. Welcome to the stream. I am the Chris Who Plays Games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever I feel like every Friday at 9:15. Tonight we are playing Chex Quest. Chex Quest is a classic Doom reskin from 1996. Many people of the correct era remember this game because it was the first version of Doom they were actually allowed by their parents to play. Because it doesn't actually involve blood or killing or other things like that, it is something that was, you know, distributed in cereal boxes, and you know, you got strict parents like some of us did, and here you go, now you have a game to play. In 1996, I would have been playing probably Final Fantasy and other things like that on the PlayStation, and less so on the PC, but I guess for some people this was their jam, so thanks for being here, and so on and so forth. I mean, they don't have to like me, they can like the stream anyway. I think they should, in fact, always like the stream. No, I mean, you should like the stream if you like the stream, really. You should be convinced by my charming personality, my lovely wit, my beautiful sultry tones. You know, we got all of it here. We got everything that you might want and more. Thanks for rating Foxyzilla. That's right. Like, dislike, I don't care. I used to say please like the stream or dislike the stream. I'll take it either way. God knows what likes do anyway. It's all a vague mystery. You find me more appealing when I take my shirt off? I mean, that's more of a Friday night kind of thing, so you do not have to like me. Absolutely not. You can dislike me all you want. It doesn't change the fact you're married to me anyway. Haha, you're stuck. Alright, so now I think... So I'm pretty sure the end of the level is going to be behind that door. I have a red key now, which is good. Alright. There's another button. That was what I was expecting. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't ever find the blue door, I don't think, but 20 minutes versus a 6-minute par. I think that I did a little bit suboptimally there. That's alright, though. Survive. Alright, so we're in the Chex laboratory now. How was your stream, Miss Foxyzilla? I saw you sent a message out on Twitter the other day that you had a lovely stream, which always makes me happy. I have been watching from afar, as I do for everyone, because, you know, rule number 1 of CPG is always watching. I'm just like the NSA or something along those lines, except slightly less creepy, maybe? Try to be slightly less creepy than the NSA. Certainly less powerful, less effective at using my power for evil. Or good, though, so, you know, with great power comes great annoyingness. Alright, we're gonna climb through here and push some buttons. The transport area. Man, I'm so lost. I'm just like, let's wander in circles. Whee! I'm gonna have to like re-walk through this entire level to look for all the buttons that I forgot to push. It's fine though. It's fine. I don't know why you're upset, me. It's good. And Soy Bomb, I did see, I think you finished Ratchet and Clank too, right? I was sad I did not get to watch as much of those as I wanted. Oh, you didn't finish yet? Oh, okay. You just changed games? Gotcha. Yeah, this is one of the problems that I have with some of those, like, this is the same reason I haven't done not Banjo-Kazooie. What's the poop one? With the bird and the... Does anyone know? Like, I sound really like an idiot here. Avery Johnson, how's it going? I'm not using the melee spork. Fine. We're gonna have to find some enemies to use the melee spork on. The poop game. It's like a, you know, platformer poop game. Melee spork deployed. Happy birthday, Avery Johnson. Happy birthday indeed. Alright, so now I got a blue key. But I don't remember ever seeing a blue door, which makes using the blue key slightly more difficult than it might otherwise be. That's right. I need to go back to the previous level and use that. Alright. Not actually sure I ever came this way. There's a blue key door. I need a yellow door. Okay, this is the key room. Alright. So... Oh, God. So, over the weekend, a number of additional posts emerged regarding the current and ongoing Patreon crisis of faith, as Patreon considers or establishes that they intend to change their fee structure. A number of smart people have pointed out that it seems likely, given their changes, that they're actually facing concerns over regulation as a financial services provider. Because Patreon accepts money and then redistributes it, like accept money in one payment and then redistributes it, it makes them effectively responsible for being regulated sort of like a bank, as far as most people understand, and leaves them in a risky position. So because they're doing that effectively in the same way that anyone who does stored value has to kind of implement a bunch of financial controls and other systems that are related to financial service management under US regulation, there's thought that the reason that they're changing their fee structure is basically to avoid some of the issues with regulation around that. So for those who don't know, Patreon up until now has effectively mitigated some of the costs of credit card processing, especially for low value purchases, like $1 pledges. Low financial value, they obviously offer significant, emotional value. A $1 pledge to me means as much as, as anything, because it's so nice just to have people know that there's people out there who are supporting your work and what you do and everything else like that. But they had mitigated some of those issues by implementing a system where they only charged cards once a month for everyone, which means that they were taking money and then redistributing it to a bunch of different people. Unfortunately, this has consistently been shown to be fraught. So payment processors and other things like that have reached out to companies and said, like, hey, you can't really do that. The reason being that you're subject to a bunch of regulations around being a financial services company that people are effectively not prepared to do. So, can't pick that up because I have full health, so. And, so yeah, so a bunch of people who are relatively smart and informed kind of pointed to other sources of kind of crowdfunding payments that had run into similar problems. When one payment processor shut down, they ran into trouble migrating because the people they tried to migrate to basically said, you're not actually allowed to do what you're doing. You may want to look into US law and figure out why. Which is always troubling when someone tells you, no, your business model is completely broken. So changing to an anniversary-based payment system where you're charged for every patron you have seems likely to be related to that. Otherwise, there's not a lot of reason to kind of migrate their fee structure. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some things that they could do. For example, they could cause patrons creators to kind of eat the fees, so that basically a $1 payment costs, the Patreon creator would only get, I don't know, like 4 to 60 cents of it. But that has not been a path that they've chosen, and there's some consideration that perhaps this is because they are looking more towards encouraging high-value patrons rather than low-value, which I think is a kind of unfortunate approach, given how successful they've been in kind of reaching the small market creators and basically making them feel heard and successful and everything else like that. Switching Patreon to a kind of high value services company where, you know, the only people who are really tempted to use it are people making thousands of dollars a month is moving away from kind of their site's core principles as far as I'm concerned, so. Yes, I am talking about the Patreon drama. So yeah, to kind of yeah. All right, save game. Also, hello Tony. We got a little bit of snow. We got a bunch of snow, but most of it melted. So I think we probably got between 4 and 7 inches or something like that on the ground initially, but because it was in the 40s yesterday, a lot of it melted and was pretty easy to shovel, so we've got a little bit left on the street, but not a ton. Alright, there's like weird noises and I don't know where they're coming from. The tree's yelling at me. Alright, there we go. I mean, why is it any stranger than Doom, other than the kind of amusing branding? Doesn't feel like it's all that unusual to me. It's a game, you know, games have all kind of silly premises. Commander Keen was a silly game. Lots of silly games out there. Alright, what do we got here? We got a big circle. Oh man, this is trouble. It was Pat, Tony. But yes, as soon as we got a computer, as soon as we got a Windows 3.1 computer, he immediately taught me how to quit Windows, go into DOS, and type Wolf 3D. And I very proudly, you know, as soon as that was showed to me, showed my dad, like, look, I know how to do this, which was kind of the wrong thing to do. I hadn't realized that it was supposed to be a secret. I thought I was just learning how to do a cool computer thing, you know. It made me look like a hacker. It turns out that was not the look I was supposed to go for. I really don't know where these noises are coming from, and they're kind of creepy. So one of the interesting things about Doom, which, you know, most people who are educated, who are well informed on, oh, interesting. On video games, no, but Doom is actually not a 3D game. In some ways. So it's certainly a like 3D rendered game, but the maps are all single level. And so if you look at the map, you'll see it's entirely flat and that there are no spaces where you can be above another point on the level. This is also one of the reasons why the when you shoot, it really doesn't matter what height something is at, you'll always hit it if you're pointing at it. This is part of the aspect here where that's just how the game is designed in that way, so. The phlegmoids are the weird slimy things. I don't know why they're phlegmoids. Alright, did I already walk through here? I feel like I did. So yeah, although the rendering is 3D, all of the gameplay calculations and everything in that vein are 2D, which is a little bit, you know, surprising if you've played it. It kind of gives you the impression of being a 3D game in a way that is convincing, even though it's not. Let's go back out to the main entrance here, I think. I don't think so. I think this might be the only cereal-based game that there was. I will take that and that. I have the Super Chex armor. Hey, blue key. Nice. Alright, so I feel like there's a blue key door this way. There we go. Yeah, cool spot. There's also Pepsi Man. So two other branded tie-in games from the same era. So Cool Spot and Pepsi Man were two Sega Genesis games. Soybomb has played, I think, both. I have only played Cool Spot and not Pepsi Man. There was Avoid the Noid, so, you know, Domino's Pizza got a, that was actually even earlier. I think that the Avoid the Noid game was like an early generation DOS game. Okay, so we've got big open space here, but we can't do anything with it. We'll go up these stairs that I don't... Oh, I did open that. Okay. So I need to find a yellow key card, and I do not know where. Aim in that door. Explore this space one more time before we go back out. I don't expect it to be in here, but... So this is a space that I could look down on from the initial entry point. I mean, there are certainly a bunch of cereals that I would expect could have deserved a tie-in before Chex cereal. I think that there's no doubt in that. Oh, I opened it. Huh, look at that. That definitely was not open before. I spent a while staring at it going, how the hell do I get in there? So, good to know. I was probably flipping that switch that opened it up. Still got some phlegmoids wandering around somewhere, but can't find them, so let's go on our merry way. I like that I'm like way off the map here. Makes me wonder if I'm going the wrong way. Like, what about that? But yeah, so Cool Spot, Pepsi Man, Avoid the Noid. You had obviously Chex Mix, or Chex getting in the mix. I am super lost. Does not help that there are like wall-like things that you can walk through in here. Okay, so this is where I came in. I think he's going to be about 700 miles away from Brad, so you can probably say hi to Brad just as effectively in chat as he'll be able to. That feels like a pretty weird premise, I will have to admit. A Burger King game where you sneak up on people and feed them Whoppers. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it feels a little bit like that's close to, I mean, it's amusing that I'm sitting here going like, that feels like Assault, as I'm literally teleporting beings to another dimension as an alternative to shooting them and killing them. So I guess perhaps my objections in this point are somewhat moot. But it does feel weird. It feels like this could be a like a YouTube, like a top 10 YouTube video, like top 10 food related video games that you won't believe actually existed, or something along those lines. Someone should make that video. Alright, this is not helpful. So I feel like, I mean, I do feel like I kind of explored around the edges of that space 3 times and didn't get anywhere. Oh, interesting. Was that always halfway uncovered? Maybe it was. Okay, so I feel like I'm looking for a switch now that I have not yet found. Royale with cheese, because of the metric system. Oh! Oh, god damn it. There you go. So... weird. Alright. So I started here. Just going all the way back to the beginning. Gonna retrace my steps. Alright, so I started here. Nope, come back down. Oh, top 10s are horrible, Stingray. They're super effective on YouTube as a content production mechanism, but I find most of them annoying. I did actually find a like top 10 Nintendo facts one that was pretty good, but it was done by a creator that I trust for other reasons. So let me know is a creator on YouTube who creates a ton of good, well, creates some good content, and he's created content on like AI, on the singularity, on whether we're living in a simulation, things like that, that are all kind of, you know, interesting and well researched and, you know, well spoken and everything else like that. And so he had a top 10 facts on NES, and a lot of his content has top 10 content in it. That was what he produced for a long time before he got into these kind of longer form research shorts. And I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I, you know, it was things like, you know, Nintendo owns the license to Super Pornio Brothers so that they can ensure that it's never distributed, which was a porn based on Mario characters. Of course, there's probably a lot more Mario porn out there now that Nintendo doesn't control, but this dates back to the point when, you know, porn wasn't quite as widely available as it is now. Included, you know, and in some cases it'd be like top 10 facts, and one of the facts would just be like a breakdown of every aspect of the iteration of naming of Mario, which is not really a fact, but is still interesting about that. So yeah, Super Pornio Brothers, I think, is the name of the porn. But like I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to find it because Nintendo bought the license to it in order to cease its distribution. Alright. So the only thing I can kind of figure is that I've got this one elevator that is not accessible. So I feel like I need a switch somewhere to kind of take care of that. Alright. So I know where that goes. Doesn't take me anywhere helpful. This venting here just takes me to there. There's a brown thing here? No. Oh, that's just this. Okay. Yeah, I don't need that. So in my, in the Chris Plays Games, the video game, or was it Retro Squad, the video game, sorry, I did include, on behalf of Soy Bomb, poutine, which is what you had to collect in the Soy Bomb level. Snap Click Cat, of course, had to collect bottles of whiskey, or bourbon, I don't remember exactly what Cat drinks. And then, for me, it was the hat, and for Stingray, it was a set of Stingrays. So, you know, I've already made a food-involved game. I feel like I'm sufficiently meeting the quota there that I'm not too worried about it. What am I missing? Alright, let's go exploring in that weird part of the thing that's not on the map. That's all I got. The best game you've ever played, Retro Squad, the video game. That is actually one of my most watched videos, is the tutorial on making a video game into Fold, which is kind of sad because it's a really, like, I never even uploaded all of the files and updated the description like I meant to. It's one of those things I felt bad about for like a year, and then I stopped feeling bad about it, and now I can't convince myself to go back and figure out what I meant to include, because watching that video again feels so painful to me. There's so many mistakes I made in the process, and producing a good video like that is just hard, so I had initially had a goal this year of making 3 videos I was really proud of, and I feel like I have not met that goal at all. There we go. I was wrong. So one thing about mazes is that if you take an approach of always following the left wall, you can oftentimes find yourself in a spot that you couldn't find any other way. There we go. I killed every Flemoid. Not killed, sorry. Returned. Teleported back to their planet. Found 91% of items and 100% of secret areas. Caverns of Bazak. Alright. Save game. Level 5. Oh, okay. So the green stuff hurts me. Don't stand on it. Got it. I'm probably gonna run out of plasma on this level because it feels like they stopped giving me like infinite refills of it. This level has kind of boss-ish feeling music. One thing I think about the sound is the kind of fake 3D nature of it, as well as probably like a lack of respect for walls, means that you can oftentimes feel like there are creatures very nearby you who are actually very far away because there's not actually a whole lot of, you know, sensible consideration of which direction sound would be coming from or anything. What the friggity frick? I don't know what's hitting me. Oh shit. Oh. In this case, they were actually very nearby, of course, but that's different than sometimes the norm. I did not get my first passport until I was about to go to Cozumel. So prior to the age of 18-ish, late 17, early 18, I never had a passport. There's not really a reason for you to have a passport if you're not going to travel outside the US. Yeah, but you've always been weird about that. This is a point on which we have often disagreed. Yep. I agree. We're weirdos. Yeah. Probably earlier, Tony, because you probably had it when you went to Cozumel 2, which you would have been 14. I think. I already have the chain spork. Okay. Oh, my age. So it was definitely my senior year, so I would have been, I was 17. So I would have gotten it, like, but it was, like, right before my 18th birthday. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know, it doesn't matter. We're all the same. No, you could not cross into Mexico with just a birth certificate at that point. I am pretty sure. Not 100% positive. Okay, is there some doors in the side here that I missed? Okay. You could still go into Canada that way. But not Mexico. Canada, they didn't change until, like, I think not until, like, I was in, it was later. That's all I really remember. Oh, okay. Never mind then. You went to Greece on a choir trip or something. Is that right? Church trip? Choir trip? Something. I vaguely remember this. Alright, what do we got going on here? I can't look down. I want to look down. No, I don't want to just fall down. I wanted to look down and figure out what I was falling into. Yeah. Hello, Crane D. Welcome to the stream. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever. I feel like every Friday at 9:15. Happy to have you here, and thanks for coming in with the raid. You raiding with Foxyzilla, or are you coming in with somebody else here tonight? I just want to know what you want to know. I want to know what you want to... Oh, that's like a wall that's shooting me. Healthcare in this country... Why am I talking? Stop me. Okay, this is not working. I need a different approach. Drop the missile. There you go. Hello, McFunPants. Hello, Xenos Trigger. Hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So I guess Crane D was probably coming in with that Missiledyne Online raid, dropping the missile. Good to have all you here tonight, as always. I mean, I say always, but it's just mostly always, I guess. Happy to have you here. I am the Chris who plays games. Tonight we are playing Chex Quest. Chex Quest was a Doom clone, licensed Doom clone that was released by Chex in boxes of cereals in 1996. There is a class of people who are big fans of Chex Quest because they have nostalgia for it as the first FPS they were allowed to play. For those of us who had strict controlling parents, this is the type of thing that you know, there's no actual killing in this game. You merely teleport the Flemings back to their home planet, and D draw planes, Viz plane overflow 130. Great. Awesome. Hello, M0 Games. Oh, thanks, Stingray. Alright, so. Do I do raids? So Craney, I don't do raids as much lately. The reason is not because I don't like them or anything else like that, but merely because because of the time that I end, pretty much everyone that I would raid is like coming to an end of their stream, and I kind of feel bad whenever I raid and they're like, oh, I was just about to go to bed. That doesn't work. And so what I've started doing instead is, especially on Friday nights, but now on Monday nights too, is that I do what I call social watching. And what we'll do instead of raiding is that we'll go watch some VODs together. So I've included a whole bunch of different things from different channels that are big and small and everything else like that. Basically, I built a feature on my website where we could watch videos all at the same time. And then more recently, YouTube has actually launched a testing feature called Lounges inside YouTube Gaming that does the same thing. So this feature is one that I've been using for my streams for a while, and as I said, YouTube is now, god damn it, YouTube is now testing a system that does it as well. So it's a little bit like raiding, insofar as like I go and I watch videos with people. It's a little bit not like raiding insofar as we tend to do it with VODs rather than live streams. I will still raid sometimes. Last Friday I was not really feeling up to managing a playlist of cool content to watch, and so I just ended up raiding Alma Mighty instead. Alma Mighty is another streamer here on the YouTube gaming platform who happens to be a coworker of mine and works on the YouTube gaming team. So it just kind of depends on a lot of things like that. You know, what's my mood that day, and you know, what is there to watch and how people are feeling, everything else like that. So Matthew Scott, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry that you're trying to, the best way for your friend to get subs is to create cool content. You know, I sometimes think that people don't realize how much of a difference that can make. I know that sounds a little bit mean, but the reality is that like a huge part of success on YouTube is not about you know, being able to get a few more subs. It's not about anything like that. What's really about is finding ways to have your content be kind of highly recommended by YouTube, and that really relates to how appealing is that content to an audience. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry for the loudness of that. Let me turn that down a little bit maybe. But yes, welcome to the stream, Matthew Scott, and everybody else. Happy to have all of you here. So yeah, Craney, the thing is that, you know, I know this isn't really self-promotion, but the promotional attempts like that can be really frustrating. You know, when I'm sitting here, obviously, like, I'm playing a game, like, I'm in the middle of a stream, and it can be kind of, you know, annoying to be like, oh, you don't really want to be here for me, you just want me to go do something for your friend, you know. Now, I will say that Mrs. CPG puts up with way less bullshit than I do, so, oh, okay. It was very loud for me, so we'll turn that loudness down a little bit just for me. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that, you know, I understand you're asking somewhat in good faith, but it can definitely be the case that this is the type of question that can get you, you know, banned from a lot of places, is that, you know, my stream is a home for me, it's a home for friends like Corey and other people to hang out and watch cool shit, and what I do with the community that I've built here, or what we do at the end of streams, is something that, you know, kind of, I'm the leader there. Now, I will admit that I am super selfish, and I very much am all about me, more so than many people would be, but it's something to think about. I know, you didn't time him out, but I'm letting him know that this is the type of thing that can get him banned. So the timeout is a courtesy, information that perhaps he does not want to repeat this activity elsewhere, because it can get you banned, and it can not only get you banned, but it can kind of get you blacklisted within the community. People can be very upset about these things, and understandably, you know, I built my community for the way that I did, and I don't really want to have to kind of do anything that doesn't feel right to me. Yes, this game was provided in a box of cereal. Anyway, hello AWOL, it's good to see you. Happy to have you here. Alright, what do we got? I have all the keys now. Oh shit. Okay. I walked to the other end of that already, I think. Does look like maybe there's a door here I didn't open. So I'm a little bit confused because earlier I definitely got into the like end area and I don't know how I got there. So AWOL, I'm not entirely sure. I think it might have been on a CD. I never had it as a kid, so I am not fully aware. The reason I think it might have been on a CD is the actual download from My Abandonware is like 26 megabytes. Yeah, okay. There we go. See? I'm smart. I figured things out. Alright, what do we got here? This armor. Yeah, so 2600 was a frequency used by the phone company to kind of indicate that it was like a special, you know, control signal back from the days of, you know, when AT&T controlled all the phone lines and they ran the big 5ESS switches and everything else like that, or probably not 5ESS at that point. But when they ran the big switches, that was how they did it. Okay, maybe this way? No. Okay. That worked about as well as I would have expected. But yeah, it was a way to kind of take control. It was a you know, switch into task manager mode. Control sequence was to kind of have specific frequencies go down the line, which allowed you to then do things like, you know, avoid paying for your phone calls or whatever else like that. If you've ever seen Hackers, in an early scene, they show whatever his name is, Freak, like playing back a recording and then calling Venezuela, not because he has anyone he actually wants to talk to in Venezuela, but just because he can. And that was the culture of, you know, phone hacking at the time. So Crane, the reality is that if you were about to say sorry, you were too late. You shouldn't need me to tell you or anyone else to tell you that it's not okay to be kind of saying, "Hey, can you raid my friend?" It's something where, like I said, in other streams you would have just been banned outright. So just something to be aware of, and you learn, live and learn, and then get loves. That's what the old commercial used to say. With you, hopefully it's not about diapers, but just about, you know, learning to be a better social citizen in the world. But I'm happy to have you here anyway, and I hope you'll stick around and learn something. I don't know what you'll learn, probably just how to get lost in this stupid level, but, you know, maybe something. Alright, what do we got here? We got anything over here? Well, that was dumb. Well, this seems good. I don't think I was here before, which seems kind of bad, but... I do have all the keys. Bum, 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 bum. You're not a bad person, Crane D. We all have things to learn. You don't have to feel bad just because you don't know them already. I love you, man. I hope you have a good night, and maybe come back sometime. I'm happy to have you here. Jessica. No, not no. You may not. That's fine. And if this is your channel, then that's how it goes. But it's not your channel, it's my channel. I do. Alright, so now we're back to this part. Shit. Hello, Van Helsing. Oh, god damn it! Just saved when I got in that room. Bum, 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 bum. Yep, it crashed again. We're gonna try it one more time, see if we can get through this game without it crashing. I mean, this may be, there's a lot of reasons why that might be. I'm playing it in DOSBox and obviously not in real DOS. I'm playing it, you know, in a copy that was downloaded from the internet, which has God knows what issue. I suppose I could probably Google the issue that I'm having. Let's see what I got here. When I get to blah blah blah, I get a Bizplane overflow error message. Just a sec. Bizplane. All right. Yeah, there's no obvious sources on this, so I don't know. We'll try one more time. Maybe we'll get lucky and get through. We shall see how it goes. The Fleming's drooling all over the place. It's really a disgusting noise. I mean, I'm sure that that's the point, but it really is quite gross. Well, they've also got to learn to chew with their mouths closed. I mean... Bum, bum. Oh yeah, this is definitely, I mean, this is a licensed, this is totally a licensed Doom clone. So they worked with id to release this. It was not some fly-by-night organization. It was distributed in cereal boxes. It was done by, you know, as a real legitimate project. It was apparently it increased sales by 273% during the time that they had it out. So it was effective at achieving the goal of you know, getting kids to buy Chex, which is not exactly the easiest goal in the first place. Yeah, so I think it's only in that last room that I've had a problem so far. Yugi, it's in the exact same room, so I'm just kind of wandering around to pick up all the keys and everything else like that first, but definitely a reasonable point of saving more often. Alright. Take that. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so I vaguely remember this waterfall, which I don't think I got to last time, but that's okay. I am worried because I don't actually have the red key, but I haven't found any doors yet, so maybe I won't need it. This seems unlikely. What's going to happen is, even if I get through the room without it crashing, it's going to be like, yeah, so this is the room where it crashes. So let's save level 5.6. Yeah, what is totally going to happen is I'm going to get through this room. It's not going to crash. I'm going to get to the other side of the room where the exit is, learn that I need another key. And then once I need another key, I will be stuck and have to go all the way back in the level. And when I come into the room again, it is definitely going to crash because that is exactly how my life would work. It might be. The only thing I'll say is that I did Google it and find another person who reported exactly the same issue playing in DOSBox. So it entirely might be corrupt. I definitely do not rule that out. There we go. Oh, I won. The mission continues at chexquest.com. What, because I had to buy more checks? So, unsurprisingly, chexquest.com is no longer a special website. It is now just the Chex website. So, I guess chexquest.com is no longer effective. Was a Wayback Machine. Let's see if the Wayback Machine has a copy of chexquest.com, which is anything different. I bet it doesn't. Alright. Earliest, 1998. Let's see what it looked like then. I was already broken then. Yeah, okay. So, ChexQuest.com was already broken in 1998. Do you know what an ad is? They actually had information on their page that informed people when they were going to be seeing ads. So some parts of this still are here. You can see various parts of the thing that was there. I don't know. All right. So that's it for tonight. We are done with the game. And so that'll just be a short stream for tonight. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. It has been fun. And I will see you all on Friday. On Friday, I'm going to continue playing Super Mario Galaxy, I think. Yeah. No, it's fine, Mistledine. I don't think he was being a troll. I think that it's just like he was looking for I mean, realistically, let's just be honest. Most kids who watch on YouTube are just kids. And so, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with not knowing something. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help for your friend, like, in general. The problem is just in social situations, you have to learn what's okay and not okay. This is one of the reasons why, you know, back in the days when you could download Chex Quest from the internet, you know, the habit at the time was that you would suggest that anytime someone entered a new social space that they would wait a month and kind of pick up the tenor of things before they jumped in and participated. And the reality is that that has gone by the wayside. And it's sad that it's gone by the wayside. It's sad that it is no longer a thing the way it used to be. And so on and so forth. But it's the reality of the world. Things move faster now. You're not expected to spend a month like getting to know people before you say anything like you would have been in the days of Usenet or whatever else like that. Some of this is the September that never ended. You know, in September of 1993, every year in September, the idea was that all these new college kids would get access to the internet and the internet would be taken over by a bunch of idiots and noobs for basically a month. And so it was always in September because that was when new kids got to school and colleges and got access to the internet for the first time. The September that never ended was September of 1993 when AOL connected to Usenet. So AOL provided access to this new stream of people, and because people from that point kept getting on AOL and kept getting access to Usenet, this kind of what had used to be like a once a year occasion of all these people coming to Usenet and connecting and everything else like that turned into a thing that never ended, and that has basically held true, you know, through to today. You know, the September that never ended of 1993 is still going on today, and will be going on forever, and we should not be surprised by that. So what we are going to do though, I know it's a little bit early, but I do actually have a CPG rant queued up for you, and I don't want to let this one go. So we'll sit back and listen to past CPG tell you something important about the world. Healthcare in this country is under attack. If you don't have healthcare and you live in the United States, get some now. I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your CPG rant of the evening. Open enrollment for the Obamacare or Affordable Care Act plans ends on December 15th. December 15th is 6 weeks earlier than it ends usually. Usually it ends on January 31st, but this year that has been cut back drastically, as has advertising budgets and everything else like that that are designed to make people aware of this availability of getting access to healthcare. because this administration is attempting to destroy and tear apart the limited access to healthcare services that the most vulnerable population in this country has, for no good reason other than because a black guy did it. That's a pretty shitty reason, because frankly, the Affordable Care Act, although it has many flaws, is not perfect and has left many people without the coverage or affordable care that they actually need, is a real solution to a real problem. And while it is a solution which is imperfect and limited, a solution which leaves many families that can ill afford it paying thousands of dollars a month for healthcare to protect their families, it is a solution that provides access to critical services that could otherwise destroy your life. Recently, my wife fell walking down steps in the rain. Absolutely doing nothing, no water skiing or skateboarding, no parasailing or hang gliding, no anything else like that. Just slipped and fell. And that simple fall would have, at the market prices that we have been charged by hospitals, have cost more than $60,000 to pay for and repair, including a $1,017 ambulance ride for about a quarter of a block. Quarter of a mile. Not a quarter of a block. Probably could have figured out a way to do that. For about a quarter of a mile, we paid would have paid $1,017 for an ambulance ride. The reason that we don't have to is that we are lucky enough to have insurance. I'm lucky enough to have insurance paid for in part by my employer, so I have access to pretty good insurance that gives me access to a lot of good prices on prescription drugs and other things like that. But even if you don't have access to good healthcare through your employer and you have a low income, there is a good chance that you have access to a relatively inexpensive plan via your state exchanges or the National Obamacare/Affordable Care Act exchanges. There's a good chance that you have access to subsidies or other things like that, especially if you're a content creator making a small number of dollars a year. There's a good chance that you have access to healthcare that could cost you as low as $75 a month. And while it is true that healthcare may not provide for you everything that you might want, it may not provide for you access to, the best in care or access to cheap drugs or everything else like that. What it can offer for you is a limitation on how much you can be screwed if something goes really wrong. For the 2017 plan year, the out-of-pocket limit for a marketplace plan is $7,150 for an individual plan. That $7,150 is the most that you can pay beyond your premiums if something goes wrong. It means that if you fall down and break your foot, that rather than paying $60,000 for healthcare, including $1,017 to be driven a quarter mile in an ambulance, you will instead max out the amount that you will pay at $7,150. And while that is by no means inexpensive, and the prices that you're talking about are ridiculous, absolutely, still, it is the case that it's better than nothing. Right now, the healthcare availability is being attacked by our government that doesn't believe that poor people should be able to live, frankly. And while it is not going to cause people to die in the streets of the flu, mostly, you should also get a flu shot, it will cause people to lose access to long-term care options that they might otherwise have available. That if you become sick with cancer, or if you fall victim to other things like that, you will have a more difficult time getting the care that you need if you do not have insurance. And now is the time. You have only 4 days from now, when I am recording this, to register in this year's Obamacare ACA exchanges, except in some states that have extended it, because the government has intentionally limited access to this open enrollment period to be half as long as it was last year, in an attempt to limit the number of people who enroll so that they can say, look, it's failing, and kill it more, which is not what we need. The reality is that if owning a gun should be a right, then there's really absolutely no reason that access to healthcare shouldn't be a right. There's absolutely no reason that people in this country should not expect to be able to stay alive. The fact that we consider these things to be that we consider staying alive to be of less importance than owning a gun is fucking ludicrous. But you can push back on that just a little bit. Just a little bit, you can stick it to the man, and you can get insurance. And yes, it may cost more than is comfortable for you to afford, but as someone who has observed what healthcare can cost if you don't have insurance, please, please listen to me when I say that the costs of not having insurance in a catastrophic event are much higher than the cost of having insurance. Please trust me that it is worth it for you to invest in this way, not only because you're going to be taking a step and saying, I believe that healthcare is a thing that we should support in this country, but also because it may protect you from going bankrupt in paying for medical bills. It may provide for you critical services that you need to stay alive in the worst case scenario where you end up with cancer or even just falling and breaking your foot. Things that have happened to both have happened to people that are very close to me in the past year. Please go get insurance, because getting insurance will mean that in those worst case scenarios you can stay alive. And if that means in the process you have to be slightly more broke, it's probably going to be worth it in the long run, because I don't want to lose you, no matter who you are. No matter how much I may disagree with you, no matter how much I may dislike you, no matter how much we may not get along, or how much I love you, or enjoy your company, or anything else like that, no one deserves to die because they can't afford the insulin that they need for diabetes. No one deserves to die because the hospital won't perform the chemotherapy that they need in order to push that cancer back. No one deserves to go bankrupt because they slipped and broke their foot. No one deserves those things. The ACA registration open enrollment period ends December 15th, and I have never ever understood why insurance has the open enrollment periods, why it's only possible to get insurance at these times. I have never understood why the market works in the way that it does, but what I do know is that it does work that way. Now is the time, please. If you do not have insurance, go get it. If you are confused by the process, ask for help. If you are concerned you may not be able to afford it, there are people who can offer you advice and tips and tricks on how much it will actually cost you. And if you don't make a lot of money, the chances are it's not going to cost you nearly as much as you think it will, but you may not have much time this year. And frankly, there's no knowing at this point what next year will look like. Please get health insurance, because you deserve it. I'm the Chris who plays games. This has been your CPG rant of the evening. Alright, so I am going to play some Chex Quest 2. Hey, Super Fox 5. It could be better. I think I'm having a kind of shitty day and taking it out on everyone around me, which I should not do. It's winter, it's holidays, it's lots of things. I can think of lots of reasons for people to be stressed. Congratulations, that's cool. My daughter attempted to take her written test that she needs in order to get her learner's permit, and because they have a lot of stupid questions on that test that require rote memorization, if you haven't studied for it, you basically can't pass it. So she never got her permit, and then we never like followed up and actually made her go and do it. So she needs to learn to drive, but no, I don't think News or Twatter does much. I mean, there's the horrible, like as far as news goes, I mean, there's the horrible tax bill going through, which will increase taxes for, well, The problem with it is not that it will directly increase taxes, and I want to be clear on that. Like, the tax bill is horrible for many reasons, but directly increased taxes is not actually one of them, because for the most part, it's actually not going to directly increase taxes for a lot of people, because it's not designed not to. But what it does is give $1.5 trillion back to rich people. And it turns out that the government doesn't actually have $1.5 trillion lying around that it can just easily give to rich people, which means that it has to come up with that money from somewhere, because money doesn't just, like, you know, I know that money technically just gets printed, but realistically, you know, money doesn't just appear out of nowhere. And so, you know, you're faced with a situation where you know, we're going to have to lower government services in order to provide those tax cuts. So you're going to have to lower Medicare spending. You're going to have to lower other spending. Take care. Celso. So already the Republicans are saying, like, yeah, we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to cut back on Social Security and other things like that. And I know Social Security is described by Republicans as, like, or just in general, as entitlement spending. The reality, though, is that, like, the entitlement aspect of this is I'm entitled to participate in this purchase because I paid money for it. The entitlement aspect is, like, yeah, I'm entitled to get back the money that I already put in. That's like saying, you know, that your 401k is an entitlement because, you know, you put money in it and you expect to be able to get that money back out later. So as we look at Social Security reform and other things like that that will all kind of happen under the bill, you know, because the government is broke. The government's already broke. The government is significantly broke already, and now they're going to be more broke. We're looking at an additional 1.5 trillion in debt introduced by this legislation over the next 10 years, and that money has to come from somewhere. We can't just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into debt forever. It doesn't work. At some point you'll get into a situation that's really bad where people won't lend you money anymore. You know, China currently purchases a massive amount of our debt, and that's a problem. China is not exactly an ally of ours. Having them control a significant portion of, you know, our financial stability, it's kind of like a bad idea, one that you don't really want to encourage, but here we are. Going deeper into debt to give rich people a tax break because they give Republicans money. Like, that is how disingenuous and terrible politics has become. And I say Republicans as if this is not also true of, you know, the other party, but it is much more so. The Republican Party that has tons and tons of you know, like stories of, like, oh, you know, we believe in being, you know, in financial stability, and we believe in all this other stuff, when in reality it's like, no, you don't. Like, just be quiet. No, you don't. Well, Brad, aren't you my foreign policy minister? What am I misunderstanding? Is it really? I didn't know that. So there you go. I did misunderstand that. I don't know how to get out of this level. I feel like that's the exit. Oh, it doesn't give them any control over us, but if people stop buying our bonds, like if our bond rating goes down, then we can't keep borrowing money, right? Or is there just other people will buy it for higher interest rates? We have to offer higher interest rates in order to get people to buy it. Is that right? I don't understand anything. It's a safe bet 90% of the time that I just don't understand what I'm talking about. So let me put it this way. I believe that the United States should not go deeper into debt in order to pay millionaires and billionaires more money. I think that at least I feel safe in saying. Is there like a button that I'm missing here? How do you crouch in this game? Like a crouch button? The problem is that I look at the what was it that? Okay, that sky is totally glitched out. I don't know how to get in there. Door open. I'm trapped and I can't even like get out this way, I don't think. Like the way I came in is blocked. Maybe I should go in one of these starships. That doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, so my like, I don't know. Again, I am not a financial expert. I am not an anything expert. I am generally of the opinion that it really doesn't matter the specifics. I know that increasing our debt for no good purpose is bad. Now, if you were going to tell me we should spend $1 trillion in order to invest in a nationwide municipal broadband support program, that we should participate in a new electrification style, like rural electrification style process in order to massively invest in our own infrastructure and economy, I would be like, cool. But if what we're investing in instead is $1 trillion spent on making rich fat cats richer, you know, putting more cash out of circulation in bank accounts of rich corporations like the one I work for, which has like $100 billion in cash in the bank with no positive, effective impact on the people who we are supporting, then I'm like, you know, that feels dumb. Oh, so the thing about the secret doors is they actually seem to show up on the map, which makes them, I realize, not so secret. But like you can see on the map this thing that used to be a secret door. No, Amazon does not sit on their money. Google, I mean, Google isn't just sitting on their money. Like, I guess we rebought a bunch of stock or something like that. But overall, Google and Apple and others are, I think we're probably not the only ones, but like Google and Apple, I know, do this in a major way. Largely, I think because it's overseas. Oh yeah, no, they're totally terrible for workers, but at least it's not in our hands at that point. Like, at least it's not sitting in our bank account. That's my feeling. Now, then it becomes someone else's fault that the money doesn't move around. Although I guess maybe that, like, stock sitting in our name doesn't actually make it a lot different. Rebuy stocks. Yeah. The reality is that, I mean, it's dumb. I'm pretty sure it's dumb. I don't know a lot, but I'm pretty sure it's dumb. Okay. What the? Alright, I'm gonna start this level over. I got to the second level in this thing before. Look, it's not Google's fault that they're completely non-innovative. I guess it's not that we're not innovative, we're just not good at making money, right? Please tell me that we do cool, interesting things sometimes. I don't know, it is a little bit depressing to, like, look at, like, if you look at, like, you know, websites that are, like, a history of YouTube. History of YouTube is, like, in 2005, they implemented a feature that mattered, like playing video. In 2006, they implemented, like, user accounts and sharing and playlists, and like that's it. like no new features listed in the history of YouTube's existence seem to have been more effective than like what we had in 2006, as far as I can tell, which is a kind of depressing thing to think about. I think it's probably just because, you know, like a lot of the benefits and changes are incremental, but they are, you know, hopefully not as bad as it seems. But it's easy to look at that and feel like, oh, what do we do? I mean, like, there was no like iOS app, there was no, you know, there's a lot of things there weren't, but it's easy to look at that and feel like, God, have we even done anything interesting in the past decade? Besides lounges. Which even that is kind of like, oh look, you play a video and at the same time other people watch the same video. Okay, so I got full life. I got the blue key card. I've only got 26 Zorch, or 12 for this gun, or 13 for this gun, so not a lot of Zorch lying around. But yeah, as my job is to make videos play on YouTube, I continue to hope that that is a good thing. I don't know. So when I do remember the 50 free hours of AOL, but I also remember the 1 free month. I remember when it changed from 1 free month as well. So initially, I think that that's a side effect of the fact that a lot of, excuse me, internet plans charged based on monthly or based on time, and then switched to a monthly model, which I don't know why that was. I mean, I assume it made them more money, but okay. So is that looks very different this time, right? Or am I just crazy? Let's see. Yeah. Like, somehow this entire level shifted. Like, I don't know what I did that caused the level to break. Oh, I wonder if, like, if I go through here, pick this up. Nope, that's still just fine. I don't know why this level is totally glitched out on me. Alright, well, that's fine. I killed every Flemoid, found 50% of items and 3/4 of the secret areas. Alright. Save game, level... Ooh. Alright, so I've got some Zorch. But yes, if there are things that I'm going to spend $1 trillion on, I would like them to be good. I would like the things that I spend $1 trillion on to not be corporate handouts, because I honestly don't feel like many of the corporations out there need them. I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. And I do feel like there are people in this country who could use them. I feel like the tax reform bill that's going through at the moment is clearly not designed with the best interests of the American people in mind. Yeah, I'm okay with betraying American values in that way. I think that maybe that American value is pretty shitty, in fact. If you are poor, you deserve to suffer and die is, I agree, a strongly held position of many of our political elite at this time, and I don't agree with it. I do also like org. I think it's definitely important that we had the airplane maintenance tax reduced, so you no longer are taxed on money that you use to maintain your private aircraft. I think that's probably one of the most important provisions in any tax plan. You know, we all know that our private airplane hangar fees are really, like, taxes on our private airplane hangar fees are really eating us up. So, you know, just personally speaking, I think that's a really important one. Estate tax is weird, and I don't know. Taxes are weird. Yeah, I mean, or like what? You're gonna pay full price to maintain your private jet? I don't think so. Like, we know that if you had to pay to maintain that jet, you clearly wouldn't go out and buy a second jet. You know how many people are employed to make a jet? Like, all those additional jets you can buy by not paying taxes on your hangar fees. Like 100% inheritance tax spread. Spend it or lose it. I'd love to have, so that one thing that's kind of, you know, become more apparent to me as I have, you know, gone through some elder care here, is that it is actually really hard to plan for how much money you'll need at the end of your life. And while I have absolutely no problem with the idea that you shouldn't be able to pass that wealth onto your... Oh, you said 100% estate tax. I missed the 100%. The only thing I'll say is that I would hope that there would be a way to implement here's the charity I would like this money to go to rather than to the government, that you can use for, like, you know, that can only be exercised immediately on death and with ideally no loopholes or whatever else like that. So, like, this is the money that's supposed to keep me alive if I have to go to a nursing home for, you know, 50 years or 20 years or whatever else like that. Like, I've got this money set aside, and if I don't need it, then great, like, please donate it to these, you know, N501c3 charities. I realize the problems with that, and I don't know if it would be possible to implement something like that. Like, I don't know, like the Trump Foundation is probably some 501c3 garbage. I don't know how those family foundations work, but that would be something that I would like to see if that was going to be a route that we would go. Yeah, it's more the, so for, like, I know for my father-in-law, it was like, you know, wanting to keep, because there was never, like, it was never, you know, you never knew when, you know, medical needs were going to have some significant cost. It was keeping assets in a way that was liquid, easily liquid. I don't know. This is something, like, the reality is that we're not looking at 100% estate tax, so I never was in a position where we were looking into it. But that would be one of the things that I would, like, just because I die and I still had a little money left over doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to give it to the right good cause. Okay, so I'm missing the yellow key still. Don't know where I missed it. I kind of expected it to be... Oh, I went and got the blue key from there. So I kind of expected it to be in the movie theaters. Oh, there's a key. What was this? I walked by this before and didn't see it? It's weird. Okay, so that's the only one that's a door. So now I have a red key, but I don't remember any red doors. I feel like the Republican Party as a party of, like, nationalist hate has kind of amped up recently. I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, super unobservant and didn't notice it before, but, like, I never felt like it was kind of, like, super bought into by the entire party before. I feel like that's the case now. Yeah, I guess it's the driving out of the reasonable people that kind of is the worst part of this. Like, now we're left with the this is always one of the things that was discussed when, you know, Trump took office, is like, okay, if I'm a kind of run-of-the-mill civil service worker, I would usually continue working for the new administration because, you know, it's the president, right? Like, it's not like these things change, politics changes, but I'm still sitting here doing a job. And it was a question that people kind of asked, is like, if I'm a run-of-the-mill, like, DOJ, you know, civil service worker, what should I do on this administration that I strongly disagree with on many things, but, like, you know, this is my job, this is what I do. And I think there's a lot of people who said, like, you know, if you're not in a position where you're being invited specifically to this, then it's not unreasonable to stay in your job and continue working and everything else like that. But as the administration has amped up the level of insanity, I feel like that becomes less true. All right, what do we got here? We got 3 weapons. We got our super shotgun. We've got a minigun, and we've got our normal gun. I have not a lot of bullets for any of them. Oh, I guess I got a lot of shotgun shells actually now. I've got full shotgun shells now. Okay, so I picked up a bunch of stuff at the beginning of this level. That's good. Boom, shakalaka. So yeah, I do know that the dog whistles were always there, and certainly who's the guy from Iowa, like Steve King or whatever? Steve King is the, like, I don't know, he's probably not literally the worst, because I'm finding out that everything is way worse than I think it is, but he's not a good guy, and has not been a good guy. Sean King, Steve, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Wasted no time. And never has. Like, he was always like the crazy guy. Like, he was always the guy that it was always unclear how he was elected, because, you know, I don't know. I guess I don't think of Iowa as being all that racist. So it's always been really confusing to me. He's always like literally in the first couple weeks of the Trump administration, there was always the, like, oh, we're gonna repeal and replace with something better, and you know, there's no such thing as a straight repeal. Like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have anything like that. It's going to be better, and everything else like that about Obamacare. And I remember, like, having a conversation with him, like he offered a bill which was just literally like, Obamacare is repealed. Like, no provision. It was literally like 2 paragraphs long. It's like, this law is changed. This law is changed. There is no more Obamacare. And it was like, you know, the only bill that had been proposed by any Republican at all was this one by Steve King, which was total garbage and never could be enacted. And, like, even the Republicans aren't that dumb. But it was out there, and so, like, I was like, you know, you say that no one is saying that, but someone is saying exactly that. In fact, it is the only proposal floated by any Republican legislator as to what the repeal of Obamacare should look like, is just repeal it. And Maestros, like, let's be clear, I'm not I'm not saying that a majority or even a significant minority of people in the party believe these things. I am saying that this is what the parties, dictate and mandate and everything else like that is. Like, I know that there are a lot of people who are like, oh, like, just, let Alabama float off into the sea or whatever. And I think that's a garbage, that's a garbage thing. But I think that people who are, and I actually even think that, so there's the whole Roy Moore vote coming up in Alabama. I even think that people who are, avoiding or not bothering to vote for Doug Jones because I've never heard of him, I know nothing about him, is evidence of the failure of the Democratic Party to kind of I think he has not done a super good job at being anything other than, for a lot of people, not in general, but for a lot of people, has not done a good job being anything other than not the child molester. Now, I would hope that not the child molester would be enough to win, but it seems like it's possible it won't be. And I'm not going to blame someone living in an inner city for not going out and voting when they're like, I have no idea who either of these people are. I've heard some stories, but neither one of them is going to help me, and I don't know enough to do anything about this. I think there's a lot out there, so. It was to my right at once. I mean, there's this whole area is full of stairwells. Here, maybe? There we go. Well, I think there's also, you have to look at some point you have to look to the party leadership and the party positioning and the party the party line, in the same way that you have to in any of these things, is that it's broader than a single candidate, it's broader than any one thing. Yeah. Okay, what do we go? Oh, I need to go. Oh, I need to go this way. Is there a red door here or something I can go through? Why am I not going this way? Okay. This painting does not open for me at the moment. Alright, there's also a stairway over here. Okay, so this is the red door. I need to find a red key. Alright, red key leads me up here. Doors I have not gone in are this one. But yeah, as a national, the RNC is standing behind not just not the other guy, but standing behind the child molester in a party in an election in Alabama. I don't feel like the guy got kicked out of a mall in the 80s. This is a disgusting person who has is just gross. He's just a gross human being, and it's more important to the National Republican Party to get tax cuts through for their donors than it is to take a stand against child abuse. I mean, you say that's and I understand that it feels weird because it is a weird thing to do, but I also think that it is not inconsistent with the general approach of the Republican Party. And so it's harder for me to kind of stand by that. What's this? Did I go here? Look, that was, I mean, oh, there's the red key. Well, alright, that was pretty straightforward. I killed all the bad guys, I just didn't actually grab the key. Excellent. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. I defer to my foreign policy minister on that front. We have that in Cambridge. I think that's what I got. And we have like single runoff something or other first past the god knows what. I don't know how our votes work. I just know I rank people in order and then my votes don't count. That's what I know. Hey Judah. There's actually a word for the voting we do in Cambridge, and it's intended to be helpful to lesser known candidates, but I have never fully understood it. There's like a whole set of rounds, and people who haven't crossed the threshold, people who have crossed the threshold, they win, and people who haven't crossed the threshold, you kind of add the votes of them, the second vote for people who voted for them first onto other things, so. Oh, today we moved office at work, so probably on Wednesday I'll probably try and get to the office and record. I don't want to do it when there's a bunch of people there, but I want to record some of the cool areas in our new space. So it's, you know, it's as many new office spaces are, it is designed, and so it feels like it was designed by, you know, a fancy designer, and the reason it feels that way was because it was. But it's still a kind of cool space. There's a couple of cool design features there, and it's nice to have something that's a little bit less open plan. Before I was sitting at a intersection of two different kind of sides. Yeah, so like I was always at an intersection, and so I got like all of the noise from this side, which is like I could see like 30 people this way and 30 people this way, and now we have kind of smaller like 15-person pods. There's like 4 of them across the floor, which is going to be a little bit more helpful to reduce noise and stuff like that, I think. Yeah, Cambridge MA voting. PR elections. I think that's not Puerto Rico, but something else. Proportional representation election. There you go. That's the word they use for it. Jess has done a bunch of Christmas shopping. Most of her Christmas shopping has been kind of online because we are not going to be able to travel or do anything else like that this year. So a lot of gifts got sent directly to people. Some of them are here and need to be, but we're because of Jess's injury, we're going to be doing pretty light version of the holidays this year. So we're thinking Alicia and her boyfriend are going to come over. We're going to do Chinese food at our house and bouche de Noël, which we'll just buy from somewhere. So. I mean, I think that Cambridge's particular use of proportional representation elections is like the kind of default for people who are okay with complex voting systems. It's like there's nothing. It is certainly not the case that we are somehow magical here. It's just that I have never really understood it. What I understand is that my vote counts even if the person I vote for first doesn't win. It counts because if if it was helpful, if it would be helpful for the person that I voted for first to have my vote, then they will win. If not, then the second person on the list will get it, and then the third, and then everything else like that. So I understand that it is helpful for me not just feeling like I have to vote for the first person and that's it. But beyond that, it's all kind of a mystery to me, and I don't really need more than that to be happy. But yeah, I mean, I am fully in favor of having the ability to choose between, you know, social conservative positions and progressive social positions. I think that that would be great. I just think that what we have at the moment is two parties, one which is like sane and one which is not. One which is interested only in helping donors and not people. And I don't mean this as like every candidate, and I don't mean this as every, you know, anything, but I do mean it as that's the party approach. And it's very hard for me to kind of feel like there's a lot we can do with like a lot of progress that can be made in that case. Let's see. The blue. Why, oh why couldn't I take the blue pill? So I said this, you know, like the people who had to choose between Trump and not Trump, I feel bad, but that's the options that we were practically given. I don't know. Kind of sucks. I mean, I guess there were lots of options earlier in the primary. That's why we have the primaries, right? So, I guess I think that the Republican kind of winner-take-all system for primaries definitely hurt there as well. You know, kind of more sane, because many states have a winner-takes-all policy for delegates. Trump, who did not do super well in a lot of states, or rather, Trump, who won only a plutocracy? No, what's like a plurality of the votes, but not the majority of the votes, still got all of the votes, because that's just how the primary system worked in a lot of states in the Republican primary. And I feel like that's a flaw, and I guess one that the Democratic Party doesn't have in the same way. Take care, Judah Vic. Have a great night. Feels like a problem. Am I seriously gonna have to die? Well, that's a crappy design. What's a hitbox? Was that the weird controller they used to play in real tournaments and stuff? Okay, there's a blue key in there. Oh, did I miss saving after a level? I feel like I did. Yeah, I missed saving after a level. God damn it. Alright. Oh, smart of me. I'm brilliant today. Anyway, on a happier note, Yeah, so Wednesday I'll try and wander around the office and do some video of some of the cool features in our new space, as well as some of the stupid features in our new space, and kind of wrap that all up. I don't want to do it when there's a bunch of people working, because it sucks to have people kind of wander through your office space and record film when you're not interested in being part of that, but I want to try and go in there and kind of show you the world. I do think it'll be a nicer space, but I also know that it's very easy to notice all of the kind of both silly things you like and dislike, but much harder to get a general sense of, like, am I actually going to like this space in the long term? Because liking a space in the long term, you have to be there in the longer term to kind of figure out, like, am I actually enjoying this? Is this, like, good, bad, ugly, whatever? Because it's so easy to kind of notice the little things, but not the big things when you start out. Is Cedar Point open in the winter, Brad? Assuming it is not. I still should go there. What, you don't want to be riding roller coasters at 4 degrees? Come on. Nothing wrong with that. Also the fact that they don't run. Like, that they are encased in snow and ice. It's fine. Fine. I don't understand what the problem is. I have definitely ridden roller coasters in freezing rain. In fact, I will always say, like, not freezing rain necessarily, but I will always say that, like, rainy days are the best days to go to roller coaster, like, to theme parks, because the crowds are way down. So I've definitely done, like, you know, 45 degrees, rainy and gross, like, especially during the, like, the Fright Fest, the, like, Halloween festivals and stuff like that. I've totally done theme parks in those conditions, because that you get, there's like no lines. It's great. All right, so I'm a little bit confused as to why. Like, what am I? Oh, got this. Red thing is up there. Oh, hi. Can you, like, not kill me? Thanks. Where did you come from? I need a yellow key. And finding it is somehow. Go up here, which... Oh. I knew the red door was there, and I was like, I don't care about the red door, I need the yellow key. So I didn't walk up to the red door, which has the yellow key sitting right in front of it, because, you know, this game hates me. Alright, now that I got my yellow key, go back down here, open the blue door, open the yellow door, and this is the part where it gets kind of maze-like, and I got super lost and left the key behind last time. So let's not do that this time if we can. Alright. Got the key, got the key. Let's get out of here, I got the key. Don't care about the rest of that maze. Probably like a super life thingy in there, but by the time I got to it, I've lost. By the time I got back from it, I'd have lost all my life anyway, so. Do not. Yeah. Alright, got a maze going on. I like can't go through this. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go with that's an invisible wall. Hope that that's not the way out. Take care, AWOL. Thanks very much for hanging out. Maybe I should drive out to Ohio and hang out with Brad. Although with Jess's foot broken, that works less well, so maybe not. Fuck. Walked in a goddamn loop. I'm going to explore every single inch of this space before I get to the end of it. Boom. Alright, what's my par time? Or what's my time relative to par? Hey, I'm only 1 minute and 8 seconds behind par. I mean, granted, it's my second approach to going to the same freaking place, but, you know, whatever. Level 4. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Get away from me. Need food. Red Wizard needs food badly. Oh god. Mr. Wizard, get me the hell out of here. The blue key doesn't recharge my health. That's like a modern Doom would do. You'd get a key and it'd be like supercharge or something like that. And then, I don't know. I got the Chex armor. See, got a blue key. I need to figure out what to use with my blue key. Red door. And that's it. Okay, so red door's here. The door. On the door. Okay. That's the blue key room. Yeah, so this is where I died last time by not flipping that switch first. I couldn't walk across there without dying. I didn't know it until too late. Oh no! I missed the key. I gotta go walk all the way around again and get it. Oh, it's not that far. Felt farther than it was. Alright, yellow key get and yellow key door. That's right. The way it always feels. Let's save this again. Alright, I still don't have a red key. I feel like I'm gonna need it somewhere. Keep looking out for that. Alright. So now I have to remember where the red key door is. I do like that there's no fall damage. Happy. Feel like the red door was this way. Oh yeah, so as far as filming in the Google Office, so long as you're filming or recording things that are not, like, if there's whiteboards or computers or whatever else like that that would be displaying things that are confidential, then it's not allowed. And so, like, in general, if you were to, you know, take pictures while people are working, then it's a lot more eh. Now, a lot of what we were, like, we don't work on super secret stuff in the Google Office in Cambridge, so I don't worry about it a lot, but this is one of the reasons why I would focus less on people's direct workspaces, but instead more on, like, the general open spaces. So there's lots of spaces in the office which are just like communal areas or meeting rooms or other things like that, where so long as there's no equations on the whiteboards, there's really not a lot that anyone is going to be upset about. And Google's generally pretty good about allowing you to do any of that. Although you do take a risk, you know, but I've literally, like, I've walked people like I've given, like when you give tours, so long as you're in like common spaces or open spaces, you're allowed to kind of film and record or whatever else like that. So there's a ton of people who have recorded inside like the YouTube office in San Bruno or inside Google offices in various places and just put up videos. And I checked with our, you know, people who kind of administer tours at the office. I said, like, this is okay, right? She's like, yeah, as long as it's not, you know, anything confidential or whatever, then that's fine. So there's an official policy which is basically along those lines and gives you some guidance on what is and isn't okay. But long story short, a lot more of it ends up being like, are the people who are around comfortable with it or not? Almost becomes a more relevant question than the you know, scary legality, confidentiality aspects of it for the most part. Which is why I've done, like, I've published videos of stuff in our makerspace or in our common spaces, but nothing that's kind of office spaces before. And I would do the same thing here, basically. Like, that's the part I'm interested in showing. Like, I've got a nice view out the window of our space. I get to look straight up Mass Ave and look over the Longfellow Bridge and things like that. So I can share those views without a problem. So yeah, well, there's lots of especially not in our office in particular, but in other offices, there's like no guests beyond this point, like Googlers only. Like no guests, no TVCs, no anything else like that. And those are the areas that you can't really go in. So like when I went to the Mountain View office in for orientation, like there's a whole building that's for, I assume, like Android development. This was like X was, I think, in a different building at the time. And so like it's probably for Android development of some kind, and you couldn't even go in, like you could only go to reception. Like even though I was a Google employee with a Google badge, like that whole building was restricted and I wasn't allowed to go in it. And it was the building with the slide, which seems kind of shitty. Like, you're going to have a slide, and then you can't get... You can see it from the reception area, but you can't get to it because it's, like, restricted and only Googlers, or only people who work on that team can go there. That seems unfair. But that is how they run it. So, and there are areas of that in the Cambridge office that are the same. I assume that they're probably search related. I feel like that's one of the kind of like the crown jewels of Google stuff, ends up being all the search related stuff. And so there's a no visitors beyond this point, and I would absolutely not, like, even if it seems like everything is fine, I wouldn't personally record or take pictures or do anything else like that in that area, just because it's not worth any potential risk that there is, even if that risk is low. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it just is like, use common sense, don't be an idiot, you know, those kinds of things. Alright, so I've got to... What I got to know... Walk around the edge of this. Oh god! Oh god. Alright, got them all. Yeah, I saw that coming. I was like, when's the other one gonna be? When does the other shoe drop? Yeah, I don't have the red door, but I do have to get in and get through there, maybe? Oh, the bad guys are dead. Dead. It's one of the nice things about working for Google, though, is that I don't have to worry about, like, leaking company secrets to Google via, like, Google Photos or whatever. So on all my old phones, I had to, like, turn off, like, Google Sync. I could never use Google Docs. You were worried when you typed code names into Google search, not because, like, you thought Google would steal those things, but Google could, like, then find out names or whatever else like that from their logs. Now that I work for Google, I realize how, you know, that isn't really the way we work for the most part. But you know, certainly there are aggregated queries and other things like that where Google will share those things. So if everyone in the company went and searched for, you know, the newest Nokia product code name, you could imagine it showing up on there's like, you know, TVs around the office that show aggregated search terms, and they're filtered by volume. But if you have enough volume, then sure, they can show up. And there's all kinds of like rules and restrictions on what types of things can be there, I'm sure, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so because I work for Google, I don't have to worry about Google getting that information by scraping their logs. All right, here's a yellow door. Seems like a good thing. I should never speedrun anything, Brad, except for maybe Super Mario Brothers. Red key, you are so free. I've got you now, don't have a cow. We are going to fight our way to the red key door until our escape. I don't know where I want to go, but I know we'll see the show. Red key, where do you go? Red key, I hope that you know. I don't know what's the thing that I must do. Is so silly that I must show you too. So I was watching a tutorial or a video by Ahoy, who does a bunch of like kind of in-depth video game history reviews, and in particular he's done an in-depth, there's like a 17-minute long video about the history of Doom, and one of the things he talked about was a bunch of the Doom clones that came out at various times. So it included Chex Quest, and so that is how I found out about it. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Holy crap, that's very fast. I was more like 2 hours. Okay, that's not. Oh, hey, that's good though. Got some food. Oh, how did I find it? I typed Google and... Oh, how have I found it? Got it. Sorry. I see. You're asking a much more reasonable question than either of the ones that you assumed I was answering. It's good. I mean, it feels very much like Doom. You know, it's I never mind. Obviously, I never minded the blood or anything in Doom, but it's enjoyable. It's a little bit easy, I feel like, which I don't mind. I'm also on the easiest mode, I guess. So if I was not on the easiest mode, it would probably be much harder. You know, playing on a more difficulty level would probably change that a lot. So I completely take that statement back. I have chosen to make it a very easy game, and so it is a very easy game. It's, you know, interesting maps. I feel like I'm... Yes, I took it back. It was dumb. I found the maps to be interesting. They have a lot of the puzzles I'm used to from Doom games, and ooh, oh, this is bad. This water is hurting me. Yeah. Hey, Snarly Charlie, Nightmare09, welcome, Dragon Wolf Pack Raiders. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games like Chex Quest every Monday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, whatever I feel like every Friday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. At the moment, we are looking for the red key door in Chex Quest 2, Episode 1, Map 5. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here, Stone, David, and Dragon Wolf, as well as Snarly Charlie and Nightmare. Lovely to have all of you here tonight, hanging out with us. Snarly is everywhere. In fact, there are multiple Snarlies. He won't tell it to you, but I've seen it. There's no way that he can be as many places as he is any other way. So I'm pretty confident in my judgment that Snarly Charlie is actually multiple people. Oh man, I think I'm getting tired. I'm gonna try and finish out this level and then call it a night. So thank you very much, Raiders, for stopping by. What were you playing, Dragon Wolf? No, I need a blue key. In order to get the blue key, I need probably to use the red key. But I don't know where to use the red key because I am lost. Okay, so nothing over there. Okay, there's a door up there. Let's see if we can find that. Go here, open this door, pull this down, go up here. Another blue door. God damn it. Okay, so there's a yellow door there and a blue door there, but no red door. There's a red door. But yeah, game is interesting. It has a nice feel. The textures and gameplay is smooth. You know, it doesn't feel any different than playing a traditional Doom game. And wow, oh wow, there are a lot of enemies in that room. So I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna save as level 5.5. What's in the middle? Interesting. I've never played I don't think I've ever played Age of Empires. No problem, Dragon Wolf. What were we playing tonight? I was asking. I'm enjoying playing this Chex Quest game. I'm amused that you know, I got a couple of positive reactions. People are like, "Oh, Chex Quest, that's the best game." Where Mr. CPG is like, "What? Like, is this a dare? Like, did someone dare you to play this game?" And I'm like, "No, I just think it sounded cool." Should just make it a habit to play all branding tie-in based games for like a month. Do, you know, another round of Cool Spot. We'll do some Pepsi Man. Do a couple other cool things like that. And I'll be the most awesome streamer ever. What is going on here? Did not get any blue goddamn key, which is the entire reason I came into this room. there really no blue key in this room? Seems like. I don't know Sneak King. That's a new one to me. I was saying Avoid the Noid, Pepsi Man, Cool Spot, Chex Quest were the ones that we came up with earlier. I don't know if there are more that we're not thinking of. Cool Spot, yeah. I've actually streamed Cool Spot. That's one of the games that I've played before. The end was entirely unimpressive. You got to the end and it was just like, hey, you beat it. Start back at the beginning again. It's like, fuck you. No credits even. Yeah, Yo Noid is another one. Oh yeah, we talked about sneaking. Yep, that was another one that came up. Like, I said, you know, I felt kind of uncomfortable with that level of assault, and then I realized that I'm literally, you know, while not technically shooting people, I am teleporting them to another dimension / world, and it apparently bothers me to force feed people cheeseburgers more so than it does to send them to a different dimension. Okay, what the hell? Something here doesn't make sense. Because that whole red area did nothing for me, I don't think. It's not what I expected. Always avoid the Noid, Brad. I should avoid avoiding the Noid. I just remember Avoid the Noid having like a really shitty sound set. Maybe just my bad memory, but that's kind of pushed me off of it. One of the things I found is that like having good, like at least decent / passable sound actually makes a big difference just to me when streaming, especially when I'm like stuck somewhere or something else like that, because at least I can feel like there's something good in my life. All right. Which is not an actual comment on my life, but just like, you know, when you're playing these games with these really shitty soundscapes, you're like, oh my god, this drives me crazy. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have walkthrough all here, and there is no red key, but I'm gonna do it again anyway, because there's one space in here that I didn't fully explore. Okay, that is what I expected, but figured I had to try. Anyway, hello, Jimmy the Wrench. Good to see you. Alright, what am I missing on this map? Gone to every freaking area. Oh, what? This key is just sitting here? Ah. Alright, well, I got my key. Excellent. After exploring every freaking room in the goddamn level. Get out of here. Okay, now I'm confused. Maybe the other blue door is relevant. I destroy all who stand in my way. Roar. That was entirely the wrong direction. Roar. There's one more blue door I feel like maybe I didn't go through. So this red door is just like a little nook and cranny in the corner. That's fully explored. I can come up here and make sure that there's nothing else I'm missing in this section. Usually I'm like, oh, I should say more interesting things, but at this point I'm just like, no, I must finish this level. Oh my gosh, my par is falling, slipping away. Every moment further and further from me. Let's follow the left wall. Red. Doesn't go anywhere useful. Ignore the red. It's the only part of the level that I haven't really gone through extensively. Anyway, yeah, so I am now a little bit confused. Not sure where to go. Oh. Does this connect to anything? There we go. Had nothing to do with a key in any place. Oh, no, that's just another dead end. Nope. Yeah, just another dead end. Hello, Jose. So on Saturday night, I worked with another streamer who uses YouTube Gaming. So DeMonty Gaming is a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battles streamer. And I worked with him to set up a kind of shared playlist of content in the lounge that I've got set up. So lounges are a feature that YouTube Gaming is testing to kind of watch things together. Not a really complex idea, especially to anyone who's watched a live stream that maybe you might want to watch something together. But they're doing it for not just live content, but for VOD content as well. And so I worked with him to kind of set up a test for this, so he could try the feature out, see what whether he liked it, whether he could bring an audience or whatever. And he did, and it worked out really well. It was actually like a super awesome experience. His fans came in. He picked out a great set of content, which was like a Dragon Ball Z fan vid series, and it kept the audience super involved the entire time. He had like 150 people who rated, and 120 of them stayed for like the full hour and 15 minutes of his content. Yeah, so that was kind of interesting and exciting to me to have some visibility into what this feature could be if you have a bigger audience. Of course, my audience is always moderate. I mean, I won't say small. There's a lot of people out there streaming to 1 or 2 viewers, and I'm certainly not doing that. But it was a fun experience. So I look forward to, you know, I've told a bunch of people, like, hey, if you have any ideas for content, like, send me a playlist of stuff, pick a time you want it to be. I will happily, like, put it out there, promote it in any way I can, like, you know, help you use the feature. So you invite your friends here at a given time, I'll set it up for you, we'll watch videos together. And I'm hoping that I can kind of convince more people to do that. Because I just don't have enough audience on my own to really make the experience worthwhile for many people, I think. What is the trick here? I feel like there must be a trick. Oh, God! Yeah, no kidding, Mighty. Completely and totally wrecked. Scared the shit out of me. So this is Chex Quest. Chex Quest was a advertising tie-in for Chex cereal. They all right. So they were attempting to increase sales of Chex in 1996. They licensed the Doom engine, created the kind of mod pack for Doom to ship Chex Quest, and they put it on CDs that they distributed in cereal boxes. In the 6-week run that the cereal had, it increased sales by, or that the game had, it increased sales of Chex cereal by 273%. Wow. Blew myself up. I feel like Tobias Funke in Arrested Development. I just blew myself. Really gotta get a tape recorder. Are you prepared for the next mission? Press the escape key to continue. Alright. Chex Quest 1 done. Chex Quest 2 done. Oh my. I'll be seeing you at chexquest.com. There is actually a fan version of Chex Quest 3, but we're not gonna do anything with that tonight. I'm tired and cranky. That was the end. You just got here at the end. That was it. That was the last room. That last room wasn't a troll room. It was just the end boss. So I have defeated all of the official Chex Quest games tonight. Granted, I did them all on easy. I am sure that if I picked Super Slimy, I would have a lot more trouble with the game. You know, I am positive of that. Although the enemies still die super quick, so but definitely that last room would have been a lot more difficult had they taken away a lot more of my health, which seems like that would be the primary thing I'd expect to change in a harder mode. So Oh, and more enemies, I guess. That would be the other thing that could change. Yeah, so the enemies have more health. They do more damage, and they actually shoot at you more, so. Oh, and they respawn? I'm pretty sure I killed these guys. Yeah, here they are. Gotcha. Yeah. So this is very much the same. I've never actually played Nightmare Mode on Doom because I was bad enough that I never had a need for that level of challenge. So the more you know. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. Let's see. I think what I'm gonna do is check who's live. Take care, Dragon Wolf. Sorry, I was gonna say Dark Knight, and I don't know why. Oh, what the fuck? Do you know if you go to gaming.youtube.com/live in all caps, it actually sends you to the live channel rather than to the list of live streams? No, we're not gonna do that. No, I don't really. No. I might just be rating myself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hang out and watch some videos. I don't see anybody that I'm like, oh, I have to like go raid this person, and there's nothing really that I want to do. So what I'm gonna do instead is raid Chris Plays Games. So this is the lounge that I was talking about earlier. Lounges are the new feature that YouTube Gaming is testing to watch videos together. So if you hop in over here, you can watch whatever videos I have picked out. At the moment, we've got some Marvel stuff, but I'll mix it up and add some other videos in here, and we'll hang out and watch videos for a little while. So thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a lovely night. Happy Monday. Have a great week. I'll be back on Friday with some more Super Mario Sunshine. I'm gonna see if I can actually beat that game. And other than that, stop by, watch some videos, and I will see everybody else later. Thanks very much to the raid, Dragon Wolf Gaming, and everybody else who came in. We had raids from Mistledine Online, raids from Dragon Wolf, raid from somebody else that I can't remember off the top of my head, and we beat Chex Quest 1 and 2. Hooray! Have a lovely night. Follow the link. I will see you all later.